welcome everyone to the There She Goes podcast. I'm so excited to have my friend today guesting on the podcast, Grace. Welcome, Grace.
Hi, I'm so excited to be here.
And you're going to see very soon why she's wearing the cute little outfit that she's wearing, little promo for what we're going to talk about. So you wouldn't know this from our last names now, but we actually met a few years ago, pre-married. I was just recently married, and then Grace hadn't been married yet. And we were performing at a local community theater performance of the musical Godspell, and we were the G-Ro twins because at the time I was Grecia Rojas and Grace was Grace Foltz. So you wouldn't know that today, but we're the OG
G.
G-Ro. And I love that. And now we've grown, we've gotten married, we've changed our last names, and so much has happened in 3 years.
So much has happened. It's been
That's
crazy.
crazy. I literally cannot wait. I've just been like following along your journey on social media and so excited that you said yes today because this is such a timely episode, such a timely interview. And I really hope that everybody else gets super excited because it's like, what? If you already saw the title, you're going to be like, tell me more. Let's talk. So Grace, go ahead and just do a quick introduction before I go so that people know who I'm talking to before I go and dive into the story.
Okay, hi, I'm Grace Summers, previously known as Grace Foltz or G-Fo.
Gfo, the Gfo to my
And,
Gro.
and I am a actor and performer in Southern California. I have lived all over this country. I have traveled kind of all over the world performing, and this latest stint I have had has been honestly world changing for me, and it's been so.
I have chills that you said world changing because you're also a world traveler now, thanks to this gig. So I love this. Okay, let's start maybe from the beginning here. I mean, okay, spoiler alert, the title here is that you are performing currently at the FIFA World Cup. So yes,
I
we'll
know.
definitely start there, like talk about what does that mean, and then we'll go back and talk about kind of like how did you get here in the
How
first
did I
place?
get here? Okay, yeah. So I performed at the opening ceremony for the FIFA World Cup this year in Mexico City. I have been working with the company Pop Mart, and it has been just such a fun journey working with them. I kind of can't wait to get into the like how I even got this job part because I feel like that's the craziest part of this story. But they have been so fun, like so excited. What a great team. They love their product, and now I love their products. And oh my gosh, like that is just an experience that I never in a trillion years would have imagined for myself. Like that is like pipe dream. I mean, I've been joking, like I opened for Shakira. Like it's just so silly.
You're like, what is life right now?
Truly, I say this to people, but I feel like the most random person in the world for this because, before this, I'm working as like a special education teacher and I'm just kind of booping along and wow.
I love this so much. So this is not your first time doing character performing. So I know that you obviously have a background in this
Yes.
and obviously performing in general. That's how we met. So actually, I'm curious if I understand correctly, and maybe you tell me, your first exposure, maybe you had one before, was actually character performing at Disney World and Disney on Ice. Like,
Yes,
how long
that is
ago was
correct.
that?
So I worked as a character performer at Disney World from 2018 to 2019. And then in 2019, I took a tour contract with Disney on Ice. Now, I do not ice skate. Like, I have to, like, make that very clear. I was an off-ice performer, so I did, like, VIP meet and greets, hospital visits, things like that. And I thought at the time, like, this is the greatest joy. I will never have a job so fun as this. And then COVID happened and the tour was canceled. So we were about 6 weeks to the end of it. We were in Phoenix, Arizona. We went in for our first sort of setup rehearsal day, and the team told us tour is canceled. We're sending you home at the end of the week. And it destroyed me. Like I truly didn't know what I was going to do. I mean, this was my whole plan. I was like, after this tour, maybe I'll do another one or I'll go back to Disney World because everyone at Disney World told me Disney's always going to be here. So go on the tour and then come back. Well, when I was sent home, Disney World was shut down and
Disney was
everyone
not
was
there.
furloughed and there was no work. Disney was not there. So I kind of had to figure out where my life was going to go. And so I turned to teaching. Both my parents are teachers. My sisters are teachers. It's kind of a family dynasty of
Mm.
teachers. So I thought, this is a secure job. No matter what's going on in the world, you're always going to need teachers. So I kind of stumbled into special education and I really loved it. And then in 2022, I moved from Florida out here to California for a teaching job. California just pays a lot better than Florida. So I was like, okay, I'll take this job. And then let's see, from there, I just did a bunch of community theater. That's where I met you. Godspell was one of the most incredible, fun shows I've ever done in my whole life. Such fun memories from that. And then, yeah, I've just been teaching. And so I was effectively retired from character performing.
Mhm.
I didn't do it for years and years and years. And then this past September, so September of 2025, I got a Facebook message from someone I didn't know. And, sometimes you get those requests and you can like look at their profile and you can tell like, oh, this is a fake account. Like, this is not real. But I looked at this account and I was like, this is a real person. Like, this is her real Facebook account. So I don't think it's a scam.
Mhm.
And she goes, hey, I saw on this website, backstage.com, I had created an account in 2020, forgot about it, completely abandoned it, didn't pay for it. She said, I saw your account on Backstage and I saw that you have Disney experience. Would you be available for something happening in New York on Thanksgiving? And I said, is this for the Macy's parade?
I like something. I'd be like, sketch. I don't know you.
Is this what I think it is? And she said yes. And so then I didn't hear back for a long time. I had sent like my resume and, my measurements and stuff. And then I had to do an audition a couple weeks later. They reached out and said, hey, we want to do a video audition. Gracia, you are not ready for what I had to do for this audition.
God, what did you have to do?
So they asked me to learn 2 dance combinations, which is fine. Then they asked me to do like an animation exercise. So I think, something like, I woke up late and, just do a whole story beginning to end.
Like, record yourself doing this like story.
Yeah, so I'm like in a live like Zoom audition. And so they're like, do an animation exercise. So basically I'm miming, tell us a story without using words, using your body.
Okay.
Then they asked me to do 100 jumping jacks. And I said, okay, I can do that.
What?
And then they asked me to do 100 burpees.
No, I would have failed. Done. Failed.
Girl,
Did not get the job.
No. I did 20 and I said, I'm done. And they said, do you want to try some more? And I'm like, that's as much as I could do. I can't do any more than that. Like, I'm not going to kill myself here for this job. And then the audition happened and I didn't hear anything for a while. And I was like, well, it's because I didn't do 100 burpees. But like in my head, I'm like, I never will be able to do 100 burpees.
No
like never in my
way.
life.
I don't understand how that's very relevant, but okay.
Who knows? But I got the job anyway, and I got to perform at the Macy's parade, which was just absolutely life-changing, so fun, so exhausting, the adrenaline through it. And then I didn't hear from them again. And I thought, wow, what a cool one-off experience. Like, what an amazing, one-time thing in my life. I'll never, ever forget this, once in a lifetime. And, didn't hear from them for months and months and months. Didn't think I would. And then I'm in the middle of teaching, and I get a missed call from somebody at the company. And I looked at my students, and I said, Summers needs to go take a quick phone call. I'll be right back. You guys work on your worksheet with my assistant. And so I go out to my little atrium and I take my call and I go, hey, what's going on? And they say, hey, we have an opportunity for you.
Oh my God. Chill.
We have a partnership with FIFA World Cup right now. And we have some gigs coming up that we'd really like you to be a part of. And I was like, me?
Chill.
Okay.
Chill.
And an important note here is that, so I got that phone call in March, I think. It was end of March. In February, I was laid off from my teaching job. So they told me, we're not rehiring you next year. They didn't give me a reason or anything. So it was just, I was so upset. I was depressed. I was like, what am I going to do with my life? I don't want to work at another school district. I don't, what am I going to do? And then Pop Mart called me and like effectively brought me out of this depression with opportunity. So I got to do my very first music video shoot. That was such a crazy
Oh
learning
my gosh.
experience. Then they called and said, hey, we're going to be doing all this PR media circuit in LA and in Mexico City. Can you please come? And I was like, yes. And this part gives me chills every time. I'm going to get goosebumps just saying it. But my teaching contract ended on June 5th, and my Pop Mart contract started on June 6th.
No, that's yeah. That is crazy. I don't believe in coincidences because I'm like, that
I don't either.
is meant to be. Like that is
Meant to
fate.
be. Absolutely meant to be. And it, like, when I lost my job in February, like I said, like I truly thought it was the end of the world. I was like,
Hmm.
what am I going to do? My world is falling apart here. Like I thought I was going to be at that school for 10, 15 years.
Hmm.
What the heck do I do? How do I find optimism again? How do I continue on? And I should have just trusted the process all the way through. And now I am. Now I
Now you will
truly
do.
am trusting the process because holy moly. And then I'm not even done. I'm not even done. I'm on a beautiful 3-week break. I said I get to finally start my summer vacation. And then I'll be flying out to Dallas for the semifinals and then New Jersey for the finals.
Oh my gosh, I can't wait because yeah, now that people hear this episode and see this, I hope that you also, if you happen to see some fun Pop Mart characters, keep a lookout at the event because now you'll know a certain little someone who may be performing there. Wow, Grace, this is crazy that you literally told me that you pivoted from your what you saw as like at least a long-lasting career at Disney, character performing, whether it's Disney on Ice, Disney World, and you felt like, okay, it's a stable gig because Disney's pretty stable. And then the pandemic happens. Who could have guessed that? Yeah, Disney itself closed for 13 months. I distinctly remember I was a pass holder and then I was no more. And
Yep.
so, and then you go and you tell me you find this job and you're like, oh, I'm going to be teaching. Teaching is stable. Teaching is a stable career.
Yep.
And then you get laid off. So,
I
of
get laid off.
course, your world is like rocked. And I just really love this. That's why I'm pausing to share that because I know that I actually had another guest already on the show that has already also been laid off.
Mhm.
Many companies are going through layoffs right now, and I just want to share this like story of hope, right? To also remind you, number one, that this happens and you can pick yourself back
Mhm.
up, but
Mhm.
number two, don't pick a career just because it's stable, because what's the point of
Totally.
picking the stable career? Well, especially if you don't like it. And now you
Yeah.
did like teaching, which is awesome, but if
I
you're
did,
in a
but I will
career.
say it took a lot out of me. Like it was a very teaching, especially special ed, is very demanding and it is extremely rewarding and I love it, but it drains me. And like, I'm coming home like a zombie every day.
Mhm.
And so I also was having this doubt of like, is teaching what I meant to do? Do I continue doing it even though it stresses me out so bad? Like,
Mhm.
what direction do I go? I felt hopeless. And I think something that I really learned from this particular layoff, was that I was tying my identity to my job and they were inextricably linked. And when I lost my job, I felt like I lost my identity.
Mhm.
And so through that like whole depressive episode, I was really trying to fill myself with the idea of like, my identity is Grace, not teacher, not
Mhm.
performer, not wife. My identity is Grace. What does that mean? What does she like? What does she want? And I kind of had to reshift a lot of my thinking. It was tough. It was a tough time.
That was so beautiful. Thank you for sharing that because I haven't experienced a layoff myself, maybe knock on wood yet, but I have definitely experienced tying my identity to my career, and other factors, right? But especially my career, I noticed. And so I just think it's really validating to unhook those two things because then, yes, then you get into an issue where, you know, you might firmly believe in your self-worth, but if you're tying it to your job and your
Mhm.
job isn't there, well, then what happened to your self-worth, right?
Totally. It was like hanging, like floating in air. I was like, what do I do with this now?
Hmm. Hmm.
It was just such a jarring time. And I feel so lucky. I have like the best partner in the world. And he's just been so supportive through this. I mean, right after I lost my job, I mean, he was not like, find something full time, get back on your feet. He was like, if you need to take some time off, take that time off. Like, refocus yourself. We're gonna be okay. And I feel like extremely lucky to be in that spot because, I've lost jobs when I was single, and that was super, super, super hard. And so having lost a job with a partner has definitely eased it.
Change the dynamic.
Definitely.
Wow. We love supportive partners around
Yes.
here, and you definitely chose a good one. And you
Yeah.
actually met through performing too. So clearly, like, this is a love that you have. If it's a career or not, thankfully, it happens to be something that you are getting paid for right now, which is
Mm-hmm,
really
mm-hmm.
awesome. But you've also done non-paid gigs, and look where it's
Oh yeah,
brought you.
I'd say most of my resume is unpaid gigs.
But see, that's how you know you love it so much. And that's why I love that you're like, look at that. Like, you get to do something that you never thought. You had a website out there that you forgot existed, and someone really went and found you
Found me on
through something you
Facebook
put on the
from
internet.
that. Yeah, it's been, you never know what's gonna happen. You
Yes,
truly never know.
yes. So, Grace,
Yes.
we were talking actually a little offline too. Is like, tell me a little bit more about Pop Mart and like the different characters and just like I'm not as familiar and I don't have kids, and I know that at
Hmm.
least kids like one of the big characters that I know of from Pop Mart is Labubu because I did
Yeah.
hear about that, and I'm like,
Yeah,
what is
she's
going
super
on?
famous.
Yes, I'm like, oh my God,
Uh-huh.
kids everywhere were going crazy for all the little
Uh-huh.
plushies. Like my nieces were all over it. So maybe tell me a little bit more about your exposure too, because
Cool.
I don't know if you even knew anything about Pop Mart before
You
kind of
know,
getting into
I
this.
knew I knew about Pop Mart very loosely because I had students that were they
Mm,
were all up on that Labubu craze when that happened last year. So Pop Mart has been around for about 15 years now. It's a Chinese company and they have a whole range of characters. I mean, basically a character for any aesthetic, any personality type. I mean, they've got it. I think about how like Disney has their whole like their OG characters, their Mickey Mouse, their Minnie Mouse, their Donald, their Goofy. Pop Mart has that too. So the most famous one is Labubu. Labubu is a very mischievous little forest elf. There are around 100 Labubus, they say in the story, and she is very sweet. Labubu is a girl. A
okay,
lot of
okay.
people don't know that, but
I
Labubu
did
is a
not know that.
girl. She is very curious, very mischievous, and has a huge heart and loves her friends. Labubu, there's a brown Labubu with freckles, and she has a boyfriend named Tai Coco. And Tai Coco made an appearance in Mexico. Tai Coco is super shy, and nobody knows what Tai Coco really looks like because he wears a skeleton head. And he wears that as like a protection in the forest. And because he's like a very shy, very like cute and demure, but he loves Labubu so much and would do anything for her. Always picks her flowers, always, just cares for her. Um, and then you
So wait,
have
so he's not a Labubu because Labubu are females. Like,
yeah.
okay,
So Labubu is like think of Labubu like a almost like a race of like mischievous elves.
okay,
And
I love that.
we don't know what race Tai Coco is, but you can recognize him from his skeleton face. Then you have the leader of the Labubus. His name is Zmomo, and he's taller than Labubus, and he has a tail. And then you also have, I'd say the other more popular character is Makoko, and she's pink. She has a little heart nose, and she's
Oh,
super girly. So while Labubu is more like a tomboy, Makoko is like the girly girl Labubu, and she's pink and fluffy and loves to wear dresses, and she's super cute. And then yeah, there's like so many other characters. If you go on the Pop Mart Instagram page, they've actually been posting like character bios from the animated characters because that's where they started. They were an animated book series by a
mm,
Chinese artist. And then Pop Mart bought the characters and have just expanded the universe even more. So there's other characters like Ducku, Demu, there's Skull Panda. She's like a fashion
ooh,
queen basically. And
cute.
yeah, there's so many characters. Crybaby, she's one of my favorites because she just cries all the time, and I also cry all the time. I cry when I'm happy and when I'm sad, and Crybaby just teaches you that you can cry whenever you want. So yeah, that's kind of I would say my pitch for Pop Mart.
The Pop Mart universe.
I wasn't so fully invested until I started working for them, and truly like I've never seen a team outside of Disney that like is so passionate about their products. Disney, everyone who works for Disney loves Disney. And same with Pop Mart. Everybody I've met who've worked for Pop Mart loves Pop Mart, and they love this all the IP and just everything they push out. They're so excited. They're the biggest fans of it. And that
I
just makes
love
me
that.
excited. And
Like
now
that's
I'm
great.
all in. I have so many Labubus now.
Yeah, you're invested now. I love
Big
that.
time. I'm a huge fan now.
Yeah, I don't think you'll ever not be now with this
I am gonna
experience.
have a Labubu on my purse forever.
Forever.
And actually, do you know how Labubu even got popular? Do you know why it
No,
started in
no.
America?
Yeah, no, tell me.
So there is this very famous K-pop star. Her name is Lisa. She's in the band Blackpink.
Hmm.
And Lisa is a humongous star in Asia. Like she is like a huge idol. And people in America love her as well. Well, Lisa is like the world's biggest Labubu fan. And she started wearing the Labubus on her purses. And so then everyone in America, the celebrities in America, started wearing them on their purses. And what's crazy is in China, Pop Mart is like their demographic are grown-ups, adults, 18 and up. Whereas
What?
in America, the demographic is kids and younger people. So I'm kind of hoping like long term for Pop Mart that they're able to expand their demographic out here because I think
Yeah.
adults will like Labubus just as much as kids. I know I do. And I gotta say, I get a lot of compliments when I have my Labubu on my bag. So
Oh yeah. No, I've actually it's funny. I mean, like you said, it might have started with kids, but literally then all the moms started buying the Labubu as
yes.
like a bag charm and I saw that and I'm like, what is
Uh-huh.
happening?
I know, I know. I had the same thought. I was like, what is this trend? And now I get it. I'm all in, totally all
Yeah,
in.
now you're yeah, oh my God, you're gonna get me into it. I already know. Now I'm like, oh my God.
You gotta go buy your own Labubu, girl.
I do. It's gonna be my bag charm. I love that. So I'm super interested in knowing like all the fun, like behind the scenes stuff in the sense of like talk to me about maybe some of the celebrities you've gotten a chance to meet, if you can say that, or maybe like how the music video experience was. I think you said you were part of a music video for FIFA, like the
Yeah.
opening. How
Uh-huh.
fun! Like, talk to me about what those experiences have been like.
Oh my gosh. So something I always complained about with Disney was that I never got to actually meet celebrities when I was at Disney.
Hmm.
The only celebrity I ever interacted with was like, I think Ben Affleck came, and this is before I worked as a performer. I worked the rides in Tomorrowland, and
Okay.
Ben Affleck came and rode one of my rides. And that was the closest I'd ever been to a celebrity, and I held on to that story for forever. And now I feel like I've just like I'm
You're like, who
meeting people
haven't I
left and
met?
right. I'm like, oh my god. Yeah, so for the music video, they had a bunch of different artists. So they had Lisa, Anita, and an artist named Rima, and that was super cool. I got to meet all of them, take some pictures with them, and I've never done really film or music video. I did one film in college for a friend, but nothing professional.
Hmm.
So I in the afternoon one day went down to LA and I parked at this little studio and then they sat me down for craft services, so I ate food and I just kind of it was a lot of waiting around, but to see like all the moving pieces to make something like that happen, it's mind-blowing. And yeah, so and then waiting like a month for the music video to actually be released
Oh,
too. I'm like
and be able to talk about it.
yeah, I just want to talk about it. I want to share it with people. And then other celebs that I've encountered, that would be things like Shakira. She was at the opening ceremony. Burna Boy. I think Selma Hayek was at the opening ceremony. You
So
got
cool.
Ronaldo, the world famous soccer player, one named Ronaldo. I mean, he was there. Who else? Gosh, it was just. I think of any like famous like Mexican celebrity, they were there in the stadium, and
I love that.
it was just like I couldn't even believe it. Like, what am I doing here?
You're like, this is so cool. I would be starstruck, honestly. To
I
be
was.
honest.
I totally was. I'm like, I don't feel like I belong in the same dressing area as these, super famous people.
That's so cool. I love that though. This is where I'm like, you never know where life is going to take you. And
Yeah.
I just love that this like one experience that you had that you never thought you might be able to experience again, or maybe you didn't think was a transferable skill, turned
Uh-huh.
out to be a transferable skill.
100%. And I didn't even have to be the one to go out for it. I mean,
Yeah.
my whole life has been like grind, 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 find the opportunities, pursue them, pursue. This one found me. And that has never, I cannot stress it enough, never happened to me before.
Thank you for validating that too, right? Because we all love to be like, she's an overnight success, or he's an overnight success, or like, never heard of them before until this. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, yeah, you might not have, but you didn't
Mm-hmm.
see the journey that led them, the years
Absolutely.
of grinding, the maybe, getting little to no pay, or, getting a lot of rejections.
Yeah.
Like, you didn't see
Basically
that.
doing it just because I like it, not for any sort of like, I'm trying to make it.
Hmm.
And it was the moment that I had kind of dropped the dream of making it in entertainment that
Hmm.
the opportunity found me.
Yeah. When you
And
finally
that's,
release.
yeah, and I feel this experience has made me release control and just like enjoy the ride. And I'm someone who like change can really rattle me. I'm a pretty rigid thinker. I'm a Virgo. But I this experience has really taught me to just embrace the chaos, embrace the unknown. I didn't know what was going to happen for any step of this process, and I have just loved it all the way through. It's just
And
the
you can
greatest joy
see it.
ever. Yeah.
I also love
Thank
that.
you.
If think about it, like you've made space though, like you did make, even though the opportunity found you, it's because you did work hard in your past, or because you
That's
did
true.
learn skills that maybe others hadn't, and because you were open to taking the opportunity, which is
It's true.
awesome. Because I
And
thought,
you
I
know
know it
what?
sounded so fun, but I thought it was a one-time thing too when you did the
Yeah.
Macy's
And you
parade.
know what? I had a professor in college tell me, that like working at Disney at the time when I was just doing like the rides. She was like, that's a waste of your time. And I went to college for theater. So she's like, why didn't you do, theater internships? Why didn't you go and audition for these things? Why didn't you do this, that, and the other? And I just, for some reason, like felt so in my heart, like, I think this is where I'm supposed to be. Like, I think this is what I'm supposed to be doing. Like, even though it doesn't make sense, yes, telling people to watch their step right now is, in her eyes, like the journey towards being a great actor. But I was like, but this is the biggest entertainment company in the world. So
Hmm.
surely being here is going to teach me things. And working at Disney World in any capacity taught me so much. It taught me so many life lessons. That was my job through college, out of college. And I mean, I would not be like nearly the professional I am today without those experiences.
Hmm.
Truly, truly, truly. And then that attractions thing led into the entertainment thing, which led
Hmm.
into the tour, which led in. And then because I had the tour experience, which is why they wanted to hire me for the Pop Mart thing, because they were like, oh,
Hmm.
she's got this experience. And you just never know. You truly never know.
Yeah, I love it. See, and like, and you're just living life throughout the process though, and I love that you did trust yourself and you trusted your intuition, because you could have, yeah, you could have gone a completely different route, and none of these really fun things would have happened for you. And I don't know, you're getting to experience the world in a really fun way.
I am. I really am. I feel like the luckiest person ever.
I see it and I'm like, Grace, you go. Like it's so fun. And you're not the only one. Like some of the other people from like some of our other castmates from the musical I've
From
seen
God's
go
Will.
on, and they've been doing some fun things too. And
I
I'm like,
know.
yes, like I love that for us.
I know. Well, and I look at you. Are you kidding me? You are a business baddie. Are you kidding me? It's so awesome.
Yeah.
Like watching your success has just like it been inspiring as well to see you say like, you know what? I want to chase this positivity and I want to chase the let's women supporting women and
Hmm.
the world needs more of that.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for validating, because I
You're
know I
welcome.
needed it. And I was like, wait, like I love highlighting stories like this. And I promise you this isn't just for like okay, I love it and I really do hope it makes an impact, but I promise you I listen to some of these episodes when I need it. Like
Mm-hmm.
this episode, especially when you said to like let go of the control, because I know that's kind of where I am right now of like
Mm.
I do this, like this podcast or other creative outlets because I love it.
Mm-hmm.
But then there's always this like nagging sense in the back of my mind, like, is this ever going to go somewhere? Am I
Is
going
it
to make it?
practical?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
But
And then
those
I'm
are like
like,
the evil influences because, like, who cares if it's practical? If it's bringing you
mhm,
joy, like, that means you're meant to be doing it.
yeah. And I feel it, right? You're like, my soul is telling me this is right. Just keep going. And I love
Mm-hmm.
how, but your story is perfect because notice it didn't happen right away. It
Mm-mm.
took like 6 years. Like you would never have thought, like so many things happen in between.
Never, 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 never. I look at like my Snapchat memories from like 5, 6, 7 years ago, and I'm like, that Grace would have been like pooping her pants to know what I'm doing
To
now.
know this. Yes, right? And never believed it. Be like, there's no way. We're a
Never.
teacher now.
Never. Well, and two, like even with FIFA, like so my family is a big soccer family. My dad has
Okay.
always my whole life been a soccer coach, soccer fan. Like if you walk in our house, my dad is always watching some kind of like game. He loves like the Premier League in England. And so I remember watching the World Cup for the first time. Like and I remember every 4 years us watching the World Cup like as a
Hmm.
family. And I remember when Shakira like released Waka Waka and I
Yeah.
danced to that all summer. And here I am, like on the field with Shakira.
Crazy. Speaking of, how does your family feel about all of this? Like, are they just like,
Well, I told my dad first. I called him and I said, "Hey, So I know you never thought my soccer career would go beyond JV soccer in ninth grade, but I'm telling you, I just made it to the World Cup.
That's so
They
funny.
are absolutely over the moon excited. I have the most supportive family ever. I mean,
That's awesome.
everything that I have posted, my sister always reposts. They, you know, every step of my journey, they are texting me like, "How's it going? Like, tell us everything." They all watched it live, the opening ceremony live when it happened, and yeah, I have like the most incredible like cheerleaders in the world.
That's awesome because you need that. And I know you talked about your husband being very supportive, but you also have this really supportive family. And
Mm-hmm.
literally, your husband is out there like having to release you out into the world because you're
He
probably traveling so
is.
much.
He is. He's like making sure I'm packing my bags correctly. He's making sure I'm making it to where I need to go. And there was one. I can't always call every night. And before I left for this for Mexico this past time, I looked at him and I was like, we never really talked about, do you want me to call you every day? Like, what makes you feel comfortable? And he goes, honestly, you call me when you want to talk to me. And if I want to talk to you, I'll call you. And he just made it like simple. It wasn't, that's
Hmm.
the joy of loving him. Is it like, it's so simple. It's so easy. And he's just as excited about my success as I am. Just as if like he was to have an experience like this, like I would be like with a sign in my hand, like, yes.
So beautiful. I love that. I love that so much because that makes it so much easier to chase after your dreams for sure.
Totally, totally. And we talked about that when we were dating too, like those hypotheticals. Like if one of us got a foreign contract, if one of us went on a cruise, if one of us did this, that, or the other, like what would we do? And
Hmm.
we wrote it down. We said, okay, if this hypothetical happens, we're gonna do this. If this if say I land a Broadway show and it runs for 5 years, what do we do then? And
Hmm.
that has been to have talked about that when we were dating and to see it in fruition now when we're married, it's really, really cool.
Well, that is so mature, and I'm so glad you said that too, because that's another like I think that that's something that I really want to instill in couples. And I'm another gig. Speaking of all the businesses that I do destination wedding planning, and that is actually something I tell my couples legitimately. I'm like, I love this, like I love the wedding aspects, but it's just like, hey, just a reminder that this is ultimately a marriage, and I have a book that I recommend of questions to ask your
Mm,
future spouse because that is so important. You don't there's some things you don't think about asking,
mm-mm.
and you do need to know how is this partnership gonna work because there's gonna be a
Totally.
give and take and a
It
compromise.
is. It is. And when you have performers involved, like, like performing is, there are dry seasons.
Hmm.
And then there are really busy seasons. And you have to be able to have a partner that is okay with that.
Hmm.
That can hang with those really long late nights that you're coming back from rehearsal or can, hang with the tech week stress.
Hmm.
And luckily, he's busy with his theater stuff too. And that's just something that immediately connected us. And yeah, I'm the luckiest girl in the world. I mean, truly, like right now, like life, like kind of couldn't be better. And that just a few months ago, I thought life couldn't be worse.
Wow, this is why you never know, and like you
You
said, you
never
keep
know.
going.
Yep.
And I love that you do understand each other because you do have similar backgrounds. So I know I am curious if you like you just had these like two major like really major pivot points, both assuming like the worst is happening, right? The major pandemic, what the heck do I do now? Like pivot.
Hmm.
We're and you did say you studied theater, so I assume like you had always envisioned yourself doing some sort of performing for your career.
Yeah, I always hoped,
Hmm.
I kind of went into college. I did not want to go to college. My parents were very pro college, go get your degree right out of high school. I think if
Hmm.
I had had my way, I would have taken a year off or so. But
Hmm.
I did. I went right out of high school, got a theater degree because I figured, you know what, I'm going to be in debt for any degree I get. I might as well get something I'm actually very passionate about, something I want to learn about. And truly, like, that has worked out pretty well for me because I was able to become a teacher even with having a theater degree,
Hmm.
and I was able to get all my credentials and everything. So I am ultimately glad I got a degree. But yeah, I did dream for myself that I wanted to perform for a living, that I wanted to make money being an artist because the happiest I ever am is when I'm performing. The most like the rush I get, the
Hmm.
joy I get from it. It's just there's nothing else in my life that gives me that. So yeah, I don't know. When I was 18, I'm like, I'm gonna do it.
Good. And I love that you did. Like, and honestly, one of the things that inspire me a lot about the people that I invite on here, and I do it purposely, is I love to invite people that may have taken a non-traditional path to, like, whether it's career, whether it's college or no college, whether it's the type of career, whether
Mm-hmm.
it's no career. Like
Mm-hmm.
literally I love that because it's like a reminder for myself that it's like, again, it's like the safe career
Yeah,
isn't necessarily the best, and also might not actually be safe and stable. I'll
absolutely.
never
I mean,
forget.
and yeah, like teaching. Oh, sorry, I interrupted you.
No, no, no. I know. Too many thoughts. Go.
I was just gonna say, like teaching. Like I hopped between like four different schools. Like I really thought teaching was gonna be the most stable thing possible, and it has been anything but. So the stable career can even be like as unstable as performing.
Hmm. I love that. And that was actually where I was going with this. Is that Jim Carrey? I don't know if you've ever heard that, like the story about him and his dad.
Mm,
Basically, like his dad, kind of wanted him to choose like a safe or stable career. Jim Carrey, everyone, and he did not. And what
mm,
he says, he's like, but then there goes my dad, who chose the stable career path, and he was an accountant for like 12 years, and then he got laid off. So it's
mm,
like, and that just shows you the same thing. It's like maybe it might be more stable, maybe for a short term, but
mm-hmm.
not forever. And are you really happy doing that? And we got one life here. Is this what you want to be doing with your time?
100%.
So I always love that story because I'm like, yes, thank you for validating.
Yes.
It's not all as stable and safe as it looks.
No, no, everybody's path truly is different, and the path is never going to be straight and easy. Like it is always going to be bending back and forth and back and forth, and you're going to be doing switchbacks, you're going to be going up hills, down hills, and you kind of just have to keep going and say that like there is so much positivity and light to be had.
Hmm. So I want to talk a little bit super quick about your actual experience at the World Cup. I see
Yes.
your jersey and I love
Viva
it.
Mexico!
Mexico, Mexico. And at the time of this recording, Mexico has won all three of its first games. So I'm super excited personally as a
Yes.
Mexican American. I am like Mexico, Mexico, and
Mexico,
I'm
Mexico.
not even the biggest soccer fan to be honest, but I'm all in on the World Cup every four
Yep.
years, especially when Mexico is doing so
Yep,
well. So
yep, yep.
tell me about the energy, the
Oh my
buzz,
gosh.
like
The whole city was decked out in FIFA. Like every store was selling FIFA jerseys, FIFA keychains, FIFA stickers, anything FIFA related. They are selling. I mean, there are people selling jerseys on the street, like walking through traffic, selling jerseys, selling flags, and I mean the everyone was excited about it. I mean, every Uber driver I talked to, every cafe worker, everybody I talked to was just a buzz, like excited for this event. So getting to the actual day, I do have to let you know I was extremely sick on game day.
oh
Montezuma's revenge.
no.
He found me and he exacted his revenge. I'll tell you
Was it
what.
like was it the food or
I had been really careful and making sure that I only ate at the hotel because I was told like, be
yeah,
really cautious with especially
yeah.
with the fruit and the water. And so I was like, I'm gonna be as careful as possible. And so through the whole week of rehearsals and everything, I felt great. I felt stupendous. I did have one taco outside of the hotel. It messed with my IBS a little bit. I thought it was Montezuma's revenge. It was not. It was just IBS. Because the true revenge happened the
Happened
night
later.
before. I had a passion fruit water for lunch. Big mistake. I got to bed at around 9 o'clock, 9:30, because we had to be in the lobby by about 5:30 to be able to get to the stadium on time.
Wow.
So it was going to be an early call. So I was like, I'm going to go to bed early. So 9:30, I'm out. 1 o'clock, I wake up in a cold sweat and
Hmm.
I run to the bathroom. And it was like a bridesmaid situation. It was like both ends. It was the sickest I think I've ever been.
No way.
I
Was
get to
there even an
bed.
understudy for you? Like, what happens if you're sick? Like,
Yeah, you want to know what happened to our understudy? She drank the passion fruit water with
no.
me. So even if we had wanted to bring her, she was as sick as I was. And so I get to bed around 3:30 in the morning. So I get about 2 hours of sleep, and I'm like sleeping like kind of upright, like trying
And
not
are
to
you
move.
like freaking out too? Like, are you kidding me?
Freaking
This
out.
what
This is the
happened?
biggest day of my life. Like besides my wedding, like what the heck? So I end up going down to the lobby and I'm just feeling very shaky and very like weak because I have nothing left within me. and I'm just drinking water. I had taken like an anti-diarrheal and I threw that up. And then I took another one. And then on the van ride to the stadium, I start hurling. And
No.
everyone and I've never thrown up in front of people before. So this was extremely embarrassing for me.
And everyone's like, "Oh my God, are you
Panicking. They're like, oh my
okay?"
God, Grace is sick. Grace is sick. What are we going to do? And they're trying to call my friend who's sick in the hotel and she's not answering because she's dying. And I get to the stadium and we get to our little dressing area and I just like curl up on the couch they have for us. I throw my hood over my face and everybody's out meeting celebrities, like getting pictures. And I'm just like so sick. I'm so sick. I managed to get a banana down, which was good. That was like the end of my vomiting, thank God. But I was still like from the other end, like still rough.
Not okay.
So we get to our area, like under the stadium, like our legitimate dressing area, and I'm like laying on the floor underneath like a folding table.
With like
I'm using my bag as a pillow, and I'm just like, and then right before going on for the event, like they were like, okay, we got 15 minutes before you have to get dressed. So I go to the bathroom and I'm just so sick.
No.
But then I do it, girl. The adrenaline pushed me through. The stadium energy was
It pushed you through.
electric. I mean, the building was vibrating. People were stomping and cheering, and every song that was played. I mean, and have you seen the opening ceremony? Did you watch it?
Not the whole thing, but yeah, enough of it.
It was this beautiful cultural like testament to Mexico. It was so beautiful. And to be on that stage, even just during rehearsals, but to be on that stage during the real thing and seeing it happen, I was goosebumping. I was like tearing up. I'm like, don't cry, don't cry, don't cry. It was just so incredible. Everybody is singing in the stadium. Everyone is cheering so loud. The performers, like they had hundreds of dancers that they hired for this event, and they were all the nicest, most talented people ever. And they were just so kind to us. So went out, performed, came back, laid underneath my table again.
Ran to the bathroom.
Yep. And then when the game started, you know, we're trying to figure out, they don't have any TV screens or anything backstage. And so, you know, we're all on our phones trying to follow the game. And I'm like, I can't get it to load. And then it felt like an earthquake. The whole stadium was rocking and cheering, and that was Mexico's first goal of the World Cup.
Wow, you're like, is it shaking?
I know, I was like,
Mexico City is known for earthquakes. Like,
yeah, right? No, it was the crowd. It was the 90,000 people that were there. And I mean, I'm
feeling it. Like I'm feeling, you know, as much as I can.
Like it. Yeah. And then after the game, we left like about 5 minutes before the game ended, like right before the game finished. So we get out of the stadium and we're going through traffic and we're getting close to downtown. And the minute we start to pull into downtown, you know, the game had finished by that point at about probably like 15 minutes prior. People from there's my kitty. People are flooding out from their homes, flooding the streets. Again, flags waving in through cars. Mexico. Everyone's honking their horns. They're blowing their vuvuzelas. You know, everyone's bringing out their instruments. And it got to a point where, you know, we're sitting and we're looking at the ETA of our van is saying, you know, 22 minutes. But then it stayed there for 45 minutes because we were stuck in this traffic of people flooding the streets and like we weren't moving. And so
there was no
once
way.
We got to a point, we were about like a 10-minute walk from the hotel. We looked at our driver and we're like, we're just going to walk. And honestly, by the time I got to the hotel, I was like, there's no way that driver would have been able to get to the hotel at all. Because the whole center, in the center of Mexico City, there's this big statue of this woman. And I don't know if you know more about this. Yes, the angel. Yeah. And people were climbing on every tier of that angel statue. The whole streets were flooded with celebration. It was like, if I hadn't been so sick, I would have been out there with them.
Yeah.
Instead, I was like trying to get through the crowd and I'm like, yay, Viva Mexico. Yay. But like all night long, people were partying in the streets. Our hotel had a big celebration, and luckily they had like a restaurant at the top of the hotel, so I got to go to the balcony and I was able to watch just all the people like flooding the streets and celebrating and having an amazing time. I've never seen anything like it. That unifying joy was truly, I'm never ever gonna forget that ever. Even throughout my sickness, I was like, I was like, I cannot forget how special this is.
I love how. Yeah, you were like definitely going through, like you were doing something much bigger than yourself kind of thing. but you were having a very individual moment.
Yes,
That's
totally.
hard. That's
It
hard.
was tough, girl. I felt sick, but you know what? That just proves like adrenaline will pull you through. It will. When
Yeah,
it's really important, I was like, I'm not. There is no contingency plan. I am doing this.
I am. No, you proved show business. The show must go on.
The show must go on, and I was thinking that too. Even while I'm sick in the bathroom, I'm like, there's no other option here. I have to go out, and
Oh my gosh,
I'm gonna
this
do
is
an amazing
performing.
job. I'm gonna do an amazing job. And you know what? I did the best job I ever had, like out of all the rehearsals and everything. And
No one would ever know. That's what's
no one would
crazy.
ever
Like,
know. And that was my goal.
oh, that just
And
shows you
then,
just like, yeah, the resilience of our performers.
absolutely. And then it didn't even end there because the next day we flew out to go to LA and we were doing an event in LAX with some super fans. And
You weren't
I
sick
was
anymore.
still
You
sick.
still were
I
sick.
was still sick. Like,
God.
I felt like I didn't have the pain anymore, but my body had not recovered from the day prior.
Hmm. Hmm.
And you know what? Show went on again, and we did it, and it was super fun, super cute. I had a great time, and then once I got to the hotel, I cried and I showered, and I felt a lot better.
Good, good. I know you mentioned the crying baby saying that it's okay to cry. I love that.
It is okay. It is okay to cry.
Wow, what an experience. And you still have, okay, if you think that was, yes, that was the opening, but you get to also be there for the final. I can't wait. I
I
can't wait
know.
to talk to you after that.
I did not think that was going to be in the cards. Again, with this company, with Pop Mart, I take every opportunity they give me, and I treat it like it's my last. And
Mm.
it's the gift that keeps on giving. It has been truly, truly so wonderful. And I was able to get some of my, like a friend that I worked with on Disney on Ice, like, oh, I love her so much. We worked so closely together, and we haven't worked together in 6 years. And she was able to come to Mexico and work with Pop Mart. And
That's
a girl I worked
awesome.
with at Disney World, like she was able to come and work with us. And
Mhm.
so I feel like, yeah, gift that keeps on giving. I can't wait to see what happens next. So next up, we've got LA again, then Dallas, then New Jersey.
Look at you
and
though, like
and in
pulling
New
up your
York.
friends.
If you have any listeners who are in New York, there is a Pop Mart exhibit, an art exhibit happening for the world of Labubu, the artist. Labubu turned 10 years old this year, and
Oh,
there's an art exhibit where they're opening with all of his art, all of the characters, and it's going to be really, really cool. So if you have any New
cool.
York listeners, they can go
Yeah,
check
for
that out.
sure. I'm gonna put that in the show notes.
Yee!
How fun. I was just saying that I just love that you get to experience all this fun stuff, but you are now pulling up other women that you've
Mm-hmm.
met throughout your career, like, and have stayed friends with and everything, and that literally had those skill sets, and now you're pulling them up, and that's awesome
Mm-hmm.
for you to do
Mm-hmm.
that.
Yeah, well, and I mean, my friend from Disney on Ice, she's been retired for 6 years now, and so pulling her out of retirement, I was like, get over here.
Okay, there, you're like, you still got it, trust me.
You still got it. Oh, and they loved her, so.
How fun. Well, and if you know what, like you said, at the end of all of this, let's just say you're treating it like it's your last. And if it is, like, I feel like now you genuinely trust that whatever's coming, is for you is going to come for you, kind of thing.
Absolutely. I feel more peaceful about my future than I think I ever felt, and that's really crazy because like I still don't have like a full-time job lined up after this, but I just feel like something's going to happen.
Like, it'll be okay. And you know
It
what's
will be
cool?
okay.
Like, whether it's Pop Mart or not, I mean, and hopefully that'd be amazing if there are more opportunities, right? But
Mhm.
if there aren't, like, if you got hired for this with, and not wouldn't say limited experience, but still with like
But
less
still,
experience than you did
yeah.
now your resume has been
I
boosted like
know.
crazy.
I know. I said putting a music video on my resume felt like the coolest thing of my life.
Yeah.
Look at me.
Yeah, you're like, can you say you've been in a music video?
The heck?
No,
The thing
that's
I did
awesome.
before that was
Yeah.
like a Shakespeare community theater. So I mean, it's what a step up.
Well, that Shakespeare Community Theater, isn't that where you met your husband?
That is where I met my
There you
husband. That's
go.
where we fell in love.
Look at you. Look at every performance has brought you something.
It really has. It's been such a treat and such a gift, and I can't overstate like how lucky I feel.
And it's not just luck because it's also the hard work
Yeah,
that
it's
you
also
put in.
hard work. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
So, Grace, I would love to know, like, what would you love to leave for listeners to take away from this episode? There's a lot, so much goodness, but what do you want to leave listeners with?
I think trust the process. Trust the process, even when things are feeling really difficult. Just trust that there is light coming your way. and that everything you have done in your life is leading to the next big thing. And you probably don't even know what that next big thing is going to be.
Mm.
And perseverance. That's something that's carried me through my whole life, that grit, that perseverance of just knowing that like yeah, life gets really tough. It gets really difficult and there's a lot of disappointments, but just push on through it. Like I said, there's light coming.
Thank you. And you definitely have, like, you are embodying it. And that's why I love this show because it's literally that. It's like, don't just take these words as empty words. Like, your story and the stories of other women that come on here are the proof that these are not just words, these are
Mm-hmm.
lived experiences. Like,
100%.
please take the real life inspo from real life people and real life women.
Yes. And you know what? Like when I had lost my job, I really leaned into listening to podcasts and books of people who have lost their jobs because I was like, how do I get through this? And so leaning on other people's experiences like helped keep me from the darkest moments.
Mm-hmm. And
Yeah,
you're
I
going to
think that
keep
would be
someone from theirs.
you know what? If just one person, that would be absolutely incredible.
Thank you so much, Grace. Like,
You're
I
so
have been so excited
welcome.
to interview you and get to hear your story. So if people want to connect with you, where can they connect with you?
They can find me on Instagram. My Instagram is gfoltzinator. Foltz is my maiden name, if that's a little confusing to listeners saying that I'm Summers. But my name on there is Grace Foltz Summers. So please go ahead and give me a little follow if you want. I posted a lot of stuff on my Instagram stories. So if you want to join me for my next series of travels, follow me on Instagram.
And make sure to check out the, World Cup semifinals, the
Yes,
finals.
and the finals. And please go on Pop Mart and go buy yourself a Labubu or go buy yourself whatever character speaks to you because they're so cute.
They're just so cute. Come on. Thank you so much, Grace.
You're
I
so
hope that you
welcome.
all enjoyed this episode. I know I did, and I can't wait to see you for the next one.
Bye.